Hello, my beautiful Patreon family members. I'm so excited to be sharing another specialty video with you today. And as you know, we've begun a little month-by-month series looking at some lesser-known astrology techniques that can either be telling us about our personality and character, or techniques that can be giving us indications for when certain things might happen in our life, predictive techniques. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at a predictive technique that can tell us when certain big events are going to happen in our life. Now, this particular technique will not necessarily tell us about the kinds of events, but it will tell us when big events might happen. We might get a bit of a gist of the kinds of events, but nothing of a really specific nature. But certainly we can work out at what age something big is going to occur in our life with this technique. Now, I'm on Zoom today, and the reason I'm on Zoom is because I wanted to share my screen with you. You will need some kind of astrological software to determine this or to work with this technique. In the past, I've often recommended utilizing something called Planet Watcher. It used to be a wonderful website online where you could see where the current placement of the transiting planets was, and you could move the chart forwards or backwards to whatever date you wanted to see where the planets were at a certain time. It was very easy to use and it was a wonderful app. That app is, that website is going through an upgrade at the moment. It's been in the works of being upgraded for months now. So I don't know how much longer it's going to be unavailable to the wider community to use. So my illustration today is going to be with Solar Fire. If you don't have Solar Fire, it's paid astrological software, which I highly recommend. It's very good if you're keen on astrology. If you don't have Solar Fire, then maybe sit tight with this technique and keep an eye on the Planet Watcher website or app, if you like, as you wait for that to become available again, whenever that might be. The other thing that you can do is to utilize the app version of Solar Fire, which is a much more simplified version, but you can get it on your phone or your device, and it's known as Astro Gold. I highly recommend that. It's a lot cheaper than the large desktop version of Solar Fire. Astro Gold will give you all you need to know where the planets are at any given moment and to be able to move those planets forwards or back in time. So we're looking at what age big major life events will occur for us. I'm going to just share my screen now. Okay. So there we go. I hope that's working and showing you what needs to be seen. Okay, I'm up in the corner. I'm just looking at myself there. As you can see, we have a Solar Fire. I hope you can see anyway. We have a Solar Fire chart here, and this chart happens to be for when I'm recording this video, which is on the 1st of June 2022 at 12:58 p.m. So I'm just using this chart. But imagine this was your birth chart or the birth chart of someone you are doing a reading for, and all the planets are falling where they're falling, okay? So with an astrology software like Solar Fire or Astro Gold or Planet Watcher when it's working again, what we do with this birth chart is progress the chart by minutes until a planet crosses a manifestation point. Now, I should stop right now and explain what a manifestation point is. Basically, a manifestation point is a house cusp. So we can see that here is the MC, that's a house cusp, or what I refer to in my astrological teaching at the Royal Stars Academy as a manifestation point. You will find out why I refer to them as that if you were to do my Royal Stars Academy courses with me. But there's the midheaven, that's a manifestation point. The ascendant and descendant, they're manifestation points. The 12th house cusp, that's a manifestation point. The 11th house cusp, 10th house, and so on and so on. Manifestation points are very important to note in the chart for this technique. I happen to be using Campanus, as my house manifestation points. I have very strong astrologically based reasons for that. Again, in the Royal Stars Academy Level 2, we go through how to set up your chart according to astrology and astronomy to get the most accurate physical results in the real world. So we have Campanus manifestation points for this particular chart. Now, as I said, with your astrological software, I might just move myself up there. With our astrological software, we are going to progress this chart by minutes until a planet crosses a manifestation point. So I've got my software set to minutes. As you can see, I could choose seconds, hours, days, weeks, months, or years to move this chart forward or back, but we're choosing minutes. So count with me and keep an eye on when one of these planets crosses a manifestation point, okay? So we're moving it forward, okay? So 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very boring, isn't it? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Here's the sun coming up to a manifestation point at 31, 32. So we've got a figure here of 32 minutes. 32 minutes before a planet hit a manifestation point. Now, as you can see, the moon isn't far away from a manifestation point here either. It's probably maybe, I don't know, another 4 minutes or so away from hitting a manifestation point. Not only that, Uranus is not far away from hitting a manifestation point there either. And Neptune is probably only 1 or 2 minutes away from hitting a manifestation point. So what I can tell you just from seeing that is that this person, whoever is born with this chart, is going to have a period in life where big events happen, bang, 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 one after another, within a relatively short space of time, and probably after a period of relatively nothing much happening in their life, no big events, because we've gone 32 minutes before we've had a planet hit a manifestation point. But that's not where this technique stops. What we need to do is we need to count how many minutes from the birth time to the manifestation point. Well, we've done that. 32 minutes is what we've got. And then we need to do some mathematics. So for the sake of not embarrassing myself, I'm going to get my calculator up here. We need to divide the number of minutes that we've got by 4. And that's going to give us the age of this major life event that's going to occur. So let's put in 32 minutes divided by 4 equals 8. So at 8 years of age, this person, whose ever chart this is going to have a major life event. Now, we could have a bit of a guess if we wanted to. We couldn't probably say with any particular certainty, but we could have a bit of a guess and say it's going to have something to do with 9th house-based events. The sun making a hit on the 9th house manifestation point at 8 years of age. So it could be that they move to another country at 8 years of age. It could be that they start to get interested in some ethics or some higher knowledge at 8 years of age. Now, that might sound ridiculous. You know, how would an 8-year-old get interested in some sort of high knowledge? Well, I was 8 years old when I first discovered my passion for astronomy. And so that, you know, it's certainly not unheard of for 8-year-olds or thereabouts to get passionate about some level of higher knowledge. But in an 8-year-old context, I had a sticker book with planetary information and stickers and things like that. But let's face it, astronomy is a higher level type of interest. It's not like I'm into my Barbie dolls, you know, it's something different. So we could say that at 8 years old, this person, whoever it was, might get interested in some higher level type of knowledge. They might find a mentor at 8 years of age, or in the Vedic system, the 9th house has to do with the actual life of the father. There might be something significant happen for this person to do with their father at 8 years of age. So that's one thing we see. Now let's progress this a little bit further. We're at 32 minutes of count since the birth time. Let's keep going and see when the next planet hits. 33, 34. We've got the hit of Neptune to the descendant at this point. Uranus isn't far away and the moon is also not far away. So let's take a look. What have we got? 34. Again, to save my mathematical embarrassment, 34 divided by 4 equals 8.5. So as you can see, 8.5 years old, there's going to be another major life event that will occur for this person. And a couple of, you know, probably at 9, there's probably going to be another, like Uranus, there'll be another event. So they're going to have big life events, bang, 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 one after another after another. Say the one at 8.5 years old might be for something to do with a partnership. Maybe they have, you know, their first love at 8.5. They moved to another country, they started a new school, and they, you know, they play kiss chasey in the schoolyard at lunchtime, which I was doing when I was 8 years old. And they get their first boyfriend or girlfriend, you know. Doesn't have to be something that they sign a contract for and end up being married for, but something significant relationally could occur at 8.5 years old for this person. It could also be that maybe some sort of contractual agreement, which is an 8th house thing, affects them. You know, maybe let's use an illustration. At 8 years old, when the sun hit the manifestation of the 9th house, the father figure in their life disappeared, or, you know, mum and dad got divorced and dad left. And then at 8.5, mum remarried and there was a new father figure who adopted this person as their own child. And that's a contractual arrangement for the child. So that would be another example of a contractual situation that involved this 8.5-year-old. Major life events. So this is what we're looking at with this technique. Now, what if you've got a chart and it takes, let's say, 2 hours before, you know, you're clicking away at your minutes here, and it takes 2 hours before any planet makes a connection with a manifestation point. How does that work? Well, back to our calculator. Well, how many minutes, let's say, how many minutes are in 2 hours? Because what we're dividing here is the minutes by 4, not the hours by 4, the minutes by 4. So 2 hours, how many minutes are in 2 hours? Well, we've got 120 minutes in a 2-hour period. So we divide that by 4 and we get the age of 30. So I just wanted to give you an example of when we've got a long space of time between a planet hitting a manifestation point, we would be looking at dividing the minutes that make up, say, the hours in this case. Let's keep going with this. I'm just going to push through and see if there's anything exciting going to be happening for this person in their later life. Obviously, there's a lot going off in their chart in the early years. So let's push through. What are we at? 34 minutes since their birth time. 35, 36, 37, 38. And there we go. Uranus has already been there. And the moon is about to hit on its manifestation point. 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. And we've got Jupiter making a conjunction here with the descendant. 55, is that what I said from recollection? Let me find my calculator again. And we'll see how old this person is going to be when they're beyond their childhood. 54 divided by 4, 13. Well, not that old, that much older. So there's a lot going on in this person's early life, as you can see. This Venus making a conjunction to a manifestation point is going to take quite some time. So they could be well into their 30s by the time Venus comes down to this particular manifestation point, as you can see. Now, what does Venus rule, generally speaking? Venus rules love, relationships, money, security in the world, materially. So it could be that, that duration of time occurs. Let's say for the sake of the example that it's a 2-hour window, and we find that this person will be 30 when the Venus hits on this particular manifestation point, for the sake of a quick example. Well, it could be that at age 30, what are we looking at? We could find that this person on the manifestation point for marriage meets the love of their life and gets married. Venus is relationships. Venus is partnerships on the descendant. It could well be that they get married at that point. Again, we're surmising from our astrological understanding and our astrological knowledge, but we do know that some major life event is going to occur for this person when Venus hits this manifestation point. So I'll just stop my share of the screen, and here I am back again. So that's how this very simple, very easy technique works. You might like to look up your chart and see if it correlates with major life events for you and when they occurred. I know I did, and I had a lot of fun looking at that. And then, once you've had a look back in the past at when major life events occurred, you can look forward into the future and say, oh, well, when am I next going to have a big major life event that's going to really rock my life, so to speak, in the good way, let's hope. So I hope you've enjoyed this little technique and that it's given you a new astrological tool in your toolbox. We will have another astrological technique next month, and thank you one and all for joining me and being part of my Patreon family. I love sharing these things with you. I love connecting with you and communicating with you here on Patreon. You bless my life, and I hope that I'm a blessing to yours. I pray for you all every day, and I love you very much. Thank you for being part of my Patreon family.